NEET is easy. JEE is easy. Every examination, every goal that you chase is easy. The problem that people don't reach their goal is not because the goal is difficult. The problem people do not reach their goal is because their value, their need to get that goal is not as hard, is not as desperate, is not as aligned, and is not as that strong. If all this is in place, then what we need is commitment. If the commitment is in place, all what we need is the daily discipline to follow the commitment, to match the value to get the goal. Goal is not difficult. It never was difficult, right? So the question to you is, what would happen if you don't get or don't clear the examination in the first attempt? So the question you ask is, what would happen if you don't clear in the first attempt? Do you have a plan B? The problem is people have plan B, and because we have plan B, our commitment goes weak. The daily discipline goes weak. Now you don't focus on the discipline and the commitment, but you focus on the problems. It's too big, it's too tough. School में हम लोग को extra रखा, college में there is a problem, there are journals to be completed, and you'll come out with a list of problems. You'll come out reasons why your commitment can be diluted. You'll come out with reasons why the discipline can be discounted. There is the biggest problem of the current generation. These problems will be there. Can you ever find a life without problems, without challenges, without complications? It's practically impossible. Now, if you have a goal pressing so hard, you will work on the face of it even when there is adversities, and doesn't matter what the adversities are, doesn't matter what the problems are, because your commitment is strong. You will have the daily discipline to follow the commitment. So don't look at the problems. Tell me how you can create these solutions in spite of these problems. Now, to clear NEET, tell me what exactly do you need? You need the concepts of 11th standard. Come on, let's be honest. You need the concepts of 11th standard. You need the content of the 12th standard. You will need the combination of these two to understand the big picture, so that doesn't matter how the questions are asked. It could be application based questions, it could be direct factual questions, it could be a numerical, it could be an equation, doesn't matter. You had the right notes, the condensed notes, the probable questions, the probable appearance of the questions, and everything of that nature. You know the trend, and once you know this, you will be able to attempt it. The problem is, the student today who is giving the NEET examination is not studying the concept, is not understanding the concept, which is why the problem happens. So in this time that is available, in the remaining times that you have in hand, how do you make the best of it? I have a plan, I have a strategy, and I would like to share it with you. I want you to tell me, will you be committed enough to follow this? Will you be committed enough to go down to the description to read the steps that are important and then to follow it on a daily basis? If yes, the rest of the video is for you. If not, pause here and exit. So if you go to see, you're left with October 10 days, November, December, Jan, Feb, March and April, right? So in October, let's say you're only studying 3 hours on a daily basis. 10 दिन बचता है. Let's say you're only putting in 30 hours of study, which is cool. November, increase this from 3 to 4 hours on a daily basis. Average 4 hours, which is 120 hours. And so on. December, put 6 hours. January, again, you'll put 4 hours because you'll have your college prelims, etc. February, 5 hours. March, 8 hours. March and April is going to be a big game changer because you have time on your side, and therefore you're going to put in 8 hours. So if you calculate, this is the number of hours that you can put in, and you still have close to 1,100 hours with you. This is what you have in all, in totality. So when I say average 4 hours, or when I say average 8 hours, it doesn't mean you're sitting every day for 8 hours. No, there are days when you will put in 0 hours, but then there are days when you put in 14 hours, but there are days that you put in 5 hours. So on an average, you are committed, right, to follow the discipline because this goal is important to you, and you will find a way to compromise the non-negotiables. No, to compromise. And you will find a way to work around the existing problems, to find a way to follow your discipline, won't you? And you will find a way to work around the existing problems, to find a way to follow your discipline, won't you? So the studying formula is simple, right? You need the 11th standard concepts, you need the 12th standard content, you'll need to do a lot of revision of solving the right papers, solving the right quality oriented papers, taking the regular tests that are important, and more than taking the test, this correction is important. So giving the test without correcting is of no use. Now this, once you accompany, you will be definitely be able to score what you need to score in the very first attempt of your life. The trick is in revision. The trick is in that multiple practice, because in that practice you become the master, and that's what brings the elegance out. Now if you practice and if you don't check what you practiced is right or wrong, evaluation के बगैर the practice is of no use. So you have to evaluate, find out the mistakes, go to the teacher, understand, and come back and practice. We've come out with a product for the NEET students on the meritstore.in. It has online papers, it has video solving of the papers. If you go to see, there are questions that the teacher is answering, there is revision on demand. You can actually go and see that. There are many papers that's available to you. Check that product. Are you willing to put in the average number of hours that I spoke with you right now? Are you willing for that? If yes, you will be able to get there. 1100 hours अभी भी आप डाल सकते हो अगर आप seriously committed है तो. And that is a huge number of hours. And if you put that, I think you can score and get through this.